Yes, my brothers and sisters, here I will continue the final segment of the Ministry of Transport for today. As I told you, I have other areas that I need to address, but I may have to seek further legal advice. But let me just address some road safety issues. Now, my brothers and sisters, now road safety has its contributions, and as recent as this year, I'm sure that you all have the knowledge that there's a lobby group, namely Arrive Alive, that is headed by one Brent Batson and Mrs. Sharon Inglefield. Now, my brothers and sisters, this present government has donated $1 million of taxpayers' money to these people. And what these people and them is doing with that money in the name of road safety, God alone knows. But let me just highlight if these are the right things to do with taxpayers' money. You have 5 locations in Trinidad and Tobago, and you have these cars and them turn on their broadside. Now, this type of thing could never contribute nowhere to road safety. It might faster contribute to a road hazard, a danger on the road. Let's look at heading on to the west before you reach to enter Westmoreland's area, right by the beautiful beachfront. You see a car on the broadside, and is Arrive Alive put that day, and they have that there for the reason to bring to the citizen attention road safety issues. Now, my brothers and sisters, around the nation where they have these vehicles on them, people have been vandalizing these vehicles and thieving off certain mechanical parts. And I have heard Mrs. Inglefield mention that that is property of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So, my brothers and sisters, will it be true to say that Arrive Alive and its belongings or its properties are that of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, or is it that is the property of the lobby group named Arrive Alive? Well, my brothers and sisters, in the name of road safety, there are certain things that is causing our roads to be a very dangerous place, and it has a lot to do with the Ministry of Transport and the licensing department. But I may not go into any details since these are of a very sensitive nature and it may have wide-reaching legal implications. But nevertheless, if there are any interested parties who really has a real desire for road safety and is really true and honest with the citizenry to where road safety is concerned, you can consult with me. And I am sure that my first initiative to road safety will score very high results. And maybe I may be regarded as one who has a great sense of road safety knowledge. My brothers and sisters, I was a wrecker man. I used to drive a wrecker, a purple wrecker named Don King, Golden Claw. And I used to patrol the highway looking for work, for wrecking work, and while doing so had been promoting road safety at the same point in time. And there's a number of names that I have in a book here who I had performed services for while on the highway and who I had promoted road safety and give road safety tips, and these people and them had realized, well, hey, the young man is giving us some very strong advice here. And you can call them or they can come forward if they see in this address and they can tell you, well, hey, that information is so true. Right? Now, let me just indicate a very, very serious and critical part of road safety. Now, my brothers and sisters, in this book, there's some information where I had taken in writing where a senior member of the judiciary was drunk like a fish and he bongs on a man named Neil Emmerich on the highway. But nevertheless, Neil Emmerich wasn't supposed to be on the highway since it is a no pedestrian zone. And he probably had a few alcoholic drinks in his head and he had misjudged in attempting to cross the highway. And he was struck by a X5 BMW, X5 series BMW. And this BMW was driven by a senior member of the judiciary. Well, when I saw this happen, many people around that area, is it Charlieville or Warrenville area, somewhere on the highway there, there are plenty of people who saw when I pulled my wrecker on the side of the road and run out in the middle of the highway while Mr. Neil Emmerich was laying on the ground with his foot broken right off, hanging on the skin. And I had taken a very brave chance in stopping the traffic and stopping vehicles from driving over this man. But I'm a martial arts man and I'm well trained in certain situations. But nevertheless, I was able to save this young man's life and stop a whole highway of traffic alone. And there are plenty of people who had stopped in the traffic and had given me high praises and was in shock and amazement to see, well, a man could really do this. No, you know, I never get the bravery award from the president for that. Yeah, I never get a bravery award, but nevertheless, let me tell you what transpired. Now, while in the traffic, now there are police officers who use the roads. They may be in their plain clothes, they may be in uniform, they may be on duty, they may not be on duty. But it so happened that one police officer identified himself by his Trinidad and Tobago police identification badge. And when I saw his badge, I left the investigation up to him, because I do not want to, you know, it is a very serious offense to obstruct a police officer while in their duty or in the course of their duty. So I left it up to him, and I was observing and monitoring the situation while waiting for ambulance to come and remove the young man from in the middle of the road. Now, my brothers and sisters, I observed that the investigation has been taken a twist. So I then intervened. And when I intervened, through my legal experience and my legal knowledge, I was able to direct to Mr. Emmerich's brother in how he's supposed to go about receiving information relevant to this accident. So I directed him was to take the name of the driver, the number of the vehicle. I also took the number of the vehicle and the type of vehicle, but the driver never revealed his name to me. But I know him personally because I faced him in the magistrate court already. Right? And it so happened that Shogunas police station realized, well, I was behind the whole investigation and the issue and following up the investigation clearly. And they impounded the vehicle at the Shagona station, and I don't know what investigation they carried out. And sometime after that, a person claiming to be from some investigation firm came to my residence, and I gave him a statement as to what transpired. But my brothers and sisters, we must all bear in mind that the highway is a no pedestrian zone, and in the area where this young man was knocked down, there was a walkover not too far. Okay, so let us just say that he was not supposed to be on the highway, right? But we dealing with an issue where a driver was under the influence of alcohol, and I am telling you that when he had spoken to me, from the distance he had spoken, when I asked him his name, when he answered me, was that he don't have to give me his name. And the scent of alcohol coming from his breath was enough to have him before the courts charged for the DUI, meaning driving under the influence. Okay, my brothers and sisters, now Shagona station, I don't know what to do, but the investigation come out to nothing. And today, I can carry you at this young man address, Neil Emrit, and his family and friends around in that community could tell you that I was responsible for saving his life with the brave action that I had taken to run out in the middle of the road to stop this traffic. Yeah? Yeah. That is where the gifted martial arts skill had came in by a very, very distinguished sensei. Right? So, it is to say that. But, my brothers and sisters, justice must be served to one and all. And not because you might be a senior member of the judiciary and you bongs on somebody under the influence of alcohol and whatever. You are the people that set these examples and show the nation, well, hey, I was really taking a chance, and as a big man shit, I should have known better, and I really humbly apologize to the nation. And if so, let me realize that this man who was bongs down, he might have been the breadwinner of his family and a paralyzing for life. And today that young man cannot even walk. His hip was broken. His foot was broken from by the shin bone hanging on the skin. It was really horrible. Okay? And nothing ever came out of that. Right? So, my brothers and sisters, bear that in mind. Now, let me tell you the next thing. What was the reason why I stopped promoting road safety and stopped working my record on the highway and I had sold my record? Because I had observed that there are other record men who probably thought that they were the king of the highway or they are the lord of the highway, and they used to be setting traps in certain spots on the highway that once your wheel go over these traps, is either your vehicle go flipping, is either it touch the grass, or is either you try to pull away from the trap if you do observe it and your wheel hit the grass, and at the speed your vehicle going to come to a stop that you didn't want it to stop at. Right? And then these recommends will come and they will charge high prices to wreck your vehicle. Yeah. Then there are other actions on the part of these recommend where They're looking for certain vehicles to buy, the rights of certain vehicles. And the rights of these vehicles has been used to place back on knocked down vehicles or stolen vehicles. And this was the order of the day. And my brothers and sisters, to date, no member of government has came out to a nation and mentioned this. And people continue to die on the road. So when you look at road safety and arrive alive, right? These are people who, where their family and their loved ones was reckless drivers who had lost their lives on the road. And these people taken upon themselves now to come out and call themselves Arrive Alive. But what Arrive Alive does do for road safety? They get $1 million from the government to do what? To turn a set of crash car upside down on the highway and distract the motor in public. Or they have to move that car from down by the seashore and going down to Carnage area there. Because that is an eyesore to the beautiful scenery of the coastline. It is a distraction that will cause another vehicle to run into the next vehicle watching at it. That is not where you call road safety. Right? So we're continuing to do all kind of things with taxpayers' money in the name of all kind of things. Right? Now, let me tell you something. Now, this wrecking scene with the trap standing setting was assisted by police officers attached to traffic branch who had been authorized to patrol the highway, and they are what they call hustlers who will come on a crash scene and will dictate a pace for which wrecker man should come and pick up that vehicle and all kind of thing. Right? And sometimes they will have traffic pile up waiting for a wrecker man at their personal choice to come to pick up this vehicle when it have other wrecker man on the scene already who looking for an honest job. Right? And these police officers is hustling thing like 200 from a wrecker man, 300, 150. Right? It have instances where vehicle run down in the ditch on the highway and the police conducting traffic and vehicles run straight through everything and it's a next accident because they're not conducting this thing correct. They're conducting this thing to cause mishap so that wrecker men will get jobs and they can make a hustle. So every night them sure to eat a $400 or $500 of food. And that the kind of conduct going on the highway. Any government or anybody ever come out and tell a nation this? No, they never do that. Right? This is why I must come out and tell all of this. You know why? Because I watch all the blood and sweat. I watch all the tears. Right? And all the taxpaying dollars all they're using to educate me. And watch, legal education is no cheap thing, you know. Hey, legal education is no cheap thing. It's $10,000 a year just to go in one of these local centers when you're a student at the University of London, to go either by Quebec Land Law Associates or by ATS or by ILAS or one of these law schools. Right? So I know in appreciation must come out and highlight these things to a nation, so a nation must know how they're dealing with it on the road. Okay? Now, there are some other issues on road safety, but as I told you that I would have not mentioned it, and it has a lot to do with crime and the contributions of crime and other issues. So, my brothers and sisters, this is another account under the Ministry of Transport. Now, Jack Warner and them really don't care about people, because I can tell you that I know people who could make valuable contributions to where national security is concerned, and these people and them never even budge because they must be find like a man too small or a man clothes too dirty. His clothes looking black up like he's a mechanic lying down on that car and thing. So them can't talk to them in national security. Them is big commanders and them are big war tank and them are big sniper man who's sniping you out from in a helicopter in the sky or from up on a building or from some part of the bush and go pick you up 1,000 yards away and them kind of thing. Right? So them don't really care about the man in the street who looking like he clothes black up because he lie down under a car to hook up a vehicle or some kind of thing. No, these people and them don't care. Right? And only have to understand that and understand what they're voting for. And all these addresses that I've been making, if people don't take heed, right, someday to come, they will realize that what I was saying here today will come to pass. Okay, my brothers and sisters, so my love continue for you, my appreciation continue, and I still ask that all unions and all members of society and all various stakeholders who see in this address should come out and let us take the relevant stand to have what they call good governance. Because good governance has a lot to do with the respect for our human rights. It has a great part to do in the way we live and enhance our lives. And it has a lot to do what is our goals, what we're looking to achieve, where we want to be successful, and how are we going to be successful. We have the resources for each and every individual here to be of great success. But yet still, the big political wigs and big wigs and political elements and who feel the most powerful and feel like they're above the law and feel like them is God or them is the kings and queens and they just push a button and we's a pawn. Yeah, and a king strike we don't or a bishop strike we don't. No, that is not the way. And next thing I wanted to remind all you see this term people using in the 21st century and referring to Barack Obama as the first black president and white president and thing. All you have to stop using them term and them boy. Right? That does echo the sentiments of racialism. Black president. What black president? So white wasn't a distinguished president who from the African race, or distinguished president from the Indian race, or distinguished president from the Chinese race, or one of these distinguished people from each and every creed and race. Why it have to be black man and black president? And next thing all they have to change up to is how they are addressing a woman who holding a chairperson portfolio as chairman. That is the English we're talking today. No wonder why people have it as a third world nation. Right? You have to address these people as what they are. Is a woman in the office? Well, the chairperson. We won't use the word chairwoman because chairman is the term. But we must address as the chairperson. So when you use the word chairperson now, you form no discrimination. You refer to the rightful person who is a woman. Which woman out there would like you to address her as a man? So let us revise back the English language we speak. And there's a lot of things need to be addressed for us to be a first world society. Right? Let me remind all of this too. Recently, there was a ratings by some big company who does deal with in corruption and investigate corruption and analyze corruption. And Trinidad and Tobago is a dot on the map. And you know is the ratings in corruption? It's about 30 we reach. So we're not far from gold medal status or number 1 status or status in the world number 10. Right? And this agency who is investigating these things, they never say which government or who and when. They speak about our present situation. Okay? So let us all bear that in mind. So my brothers and sisters, love and respect one and all, man, woman and child, As I tell earlier, I like to speak where everybody can understand, and I don't like to use all these big words from deep in the legal dictionary and in these law books, and when I go on the VLE and I'm doing some search on the VLE right now, right? And after I do that research and thing, I will address how we can deal with the Human Rights Act, because there are certain articles in the Human Rights Act that do apply to the citizen. I will have to explain how that works, my brothers and sisters. Okay? So, well, I don't know. Segment going for now, and we can talk again. Right? Mr. President, I love you. I like how you hold a real top of the line pose. And he is a top of the line man, the world know that. Trust me, we love you and we gain your full support. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. President? We love you. Alright.